behind. Not a yes sir, not a follower. Fit the box, fit the mold, have a seat in the foyer. Take a number. I was lightning before the thunder. Thunder, 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 feel the thunder. Lightning and the thunder. Thunder, feel the thunder. Lightning and the thunder. Thunder, thunder, thunder. Kids were laughing in my classes while I was scheming for the masses. Who do you think you are? Dreaming about being a big star. They say you're basic, they say you're easy. You're always riding in the backseat. Now I'm smiling from the stage while you were clapping in the nosebleeds. Thunder, 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 feel the thunder. Lightning and the thunder. Thunder, feel the thunder. Lightning and the thunder. Thunder. Thunder, feel the thunder. Lightning and the thunder. Thunder, thunder, feel the thunder. Lightning and the thunder. Thunder, thunder, feel the thunder. Lightning and the thunder. Thunder, thunder, feel the thunder. Lightning and the thunder. Thunder, thunder, feel the thunder. Lightning and the thunder. Thunder.
Somebody save your soul, cause you've been sinning in the city. I know too many troubles, all these lovers got you losing control. You like a drug to me, a luxury, my sugar and gold. I want the good life every good night, you're a high one to hold. Cause you don't even know, I can make your hands clap. Said I can make your hands clap. Somebody save your soul, cause you've been sinning in the city. I know too many troubles, all these lovers got you losing control. You like a drug to me, a luxury, my sugar and gold. I want your sex and your affection when they're holding you close. Cause you don't even know, I can make your hands clap. Said I can make your hands clap. Every night when the stars come out, am I the only living soul around? Need to believe you could hold me down, cause I'm in need of something good right now. We could be screaming till the sun comes out, and when we wake we'd be the only sound. Get on my knees and say your breath change round. That I can make your hands clap.
if it's what I want to do. I am leaving, and this is starting to feel like it's right before my eyes, and I can taste it. It's my sweet beginning. And I can tell you I'm not the best you could have attained. But why try anything? I will get there. Just remember, I know that I can tell just what you want. You don't want to be alone. You don't want to be alone. And I can say it's what you know, but you known it the whole time. Yeah, you known it the whole time. I can tell just what you want. You don't want to be alone. You don't want to be alone. And I can say it's what you know, but you known it the whole time. Yeah, you known it the whole time. So sentimental, not sentimental, no. Romantic, not disgusting yet. Darling, I'm down and lonely. When with the fortunate only. I've been looking for something else. Chocolate, let's go slowly. Discouraged, distant from other interests. On your favorite weekend, and this love for gentlemen only. That's with a fortunate only. No, I gotta be someone else. These days it comes and goes. A list of mania. Think less but see it grow. Like a ride, oh. Not easily offended. Know how to let it go. From a mess to the masses. A list of mania. Think less but see it grow. Like a ride, oh. Not easily offended. Know how to let it go. From a mess to the masses. Follow misguided, stand still. Discuss, discouraged. On this precious weekend, and this love for gentlemen only. Wealthiest gentlemen only. But now that you're lonely, chocolate, let's go slowly. Discouraged, we'll burn the pictures instead. When it's all over, we can barely discuss for 1 minute only. Not with a fortunate only. Thought it could have been something else. These days it comes and goes. A list of mania. Think less but see it grow. Like a ride, oh. Not easily offended. Know how to let it go. From a mess to the masses. A list of mania. Think less but see it grow. Like a ride, oh. Not easily offended. Know how to let it go. From a mess to the masses. The
great at this time, like the hollow body frogs, the topwaters, and the plastic worms. Try to catch the lure past that bed, working slowly close to the bass. Be sure to use braids, best line to use in the lily pads and heavy weeds, because you'll need to.
Good evening, and welcome to the University of Tulsa College of Law hooding ceremony. I would like to introduce and welcome TU Interim President and former College of Law Dean Janet Levitt, who is joining us this evening. At this time, I would like to invite University of Tulsa Chaplain Jeffrey Francis to offer us an invocation for our hooding ceremony this evening. Would you please rise?
Thank you, Lynn. Let us join our hearts in prayer. Grateful, O Lord, is our prayer this evening. Grateful, deeply grateful. We are grateful for these law graduates gathered this evening from the classes of 2020 and 2021, receiving their hoods. What a joy it is to gather. What a joy it is to celebrate. We are grateful, extremely grateful for your sovereignty, your providential hand that guided us this past year, nearly a year and a half of this pandemic scourge of COVID-19. While we know there is still a journey ahead, we are so grateful to know that hope truly abounds and the future is bright. Truly, today is a day of thanksgiving, gracious God, for your guidance in bringing us to this place at this hour for this joyous occasion. To you, our Creator, the one who redeems and sustains our lives, we pray. Amen.
Thank you, Chaplain. Please be seated. If you prefer, you are welcome to remove your mask while seated during this evening's program. This evening, it is my honor and privilege to celebrate the accomplishments of the May 2020, December 2020, and May 2021 graduates who have earned degrees in our JD program, our LLM program, our Masters of Jurisprudence in Indian Law, and our Masters of Jurisprudence in Energy Law. On behalf of myself, the faculty, and the staff of the University of Tulsa College of Law, I offer our graduates attending here in person or those joining us virtually a very warm and hearty congratulations on your accomplishments and success. It is further an honor It is further an honor to welcome our graduates' friends and family who are here this evening, many of whom have traveled significant distance to be with their graduate this evening. I also welcome all family, friends, and supporters who are joining us virtually. This past year, as we all know, has been enormously challenging beyond the usual rigors and challenges of law school. This past year, this incredible group of talented and resilient students and our remarkable and dedicated faculty and staff have stepped up and braved the challenges and obstacles posed by the pandemic to bring us all here today to celebrate your accomplishments in graduating from law school and our MJ program. In this year of the global COVID-19 pandemic, our graduates, families, friends, supporters, and mentors have been invaluable in your journey to success. Today's celebration includes not just our JD, LLM, and Masters of Jurisprudence graduates. It also includes all of you in our audience. This moment for our graduates could not have happened without your support, sacrifice, understanding, and encouragement. Graduates, I think it is only appropriate that you stand, try to find your family and friends and supporters in the audience, and give those who have been with you through this journey a well-deserved round of applause. I also want to recognize the TU College of Law faculty who have pushed you, challenged you, listened to your dreams, answered your questions, calmed your fears, and helped steer you in the right direction. I would also like to take a moment to recognize and honor those faculty who are retiring or who retired at the end of last year. Robert Buchan, Vicki Lemus, Judy Royster, and Ray Yasser. These faculty have been incredible teachers, scholars, and leaders, not only in training and advancing your careers, but also in making significant contributions to important fields of law. Their impact on students and on the legal profession will be felt for many years to come. Professors Butkin, Lemus, Royster, and Yasser, would you mind standing? I'll lead one more round of applause. I also want to take a moment to honor and remember our beloved colleague, Professor Evelyn Hutchinson, who passed away last fall. I want to thank Professor Hutchinson's family and her many friends for establishing a scholarship in her name. And I want to thank our students for naming one of their moot court competitions in her honor. To our graduates, oh my goodness, to the class of May of 2020, December 2020, and May 2021. This is a momentous and long-awaited day of recognition and celebration. Even in the midst of a global pandemic, you made the choice every day to commit yourself to earning your JD, your LLM, or your master's in jurisprudence. Many of you have formed important friendships that will last a lifetime. One of the greatest strengths of TU Law is our people, our faculty, our staff, our students, and our alumni. This community is strong and has been an important place for you to learn the law, to grow professionally and personally, and to launch your career. I have been thinking about you as you leave us and get ready to take the next steps in your career. For many of you, you will be spending the next several months preparing for the bar exam. Others will be taking on or continuing new professional challenges and roles. But for all of you, you are entering a world full of significant national and global challenges. And it is times like these that people will turn to lawyers, judges, and leading professionals affiliated with the law for answers and leadership. That leadership, that responsibility, will soon move to your shoulders. Taking on the responsibilities of leadership, large and small, is something you have trained to do. You are at this moment because you are someone who can step into a leadership role, whether it is helping your company or a government agency, or helping a client incorporate a new enterprise, defending a client from a wrongful allegation, or prosecuting an individual has wronged other, or seeking justice for a client who has been wronged. You are someone who can take on leadership roles and solve problems for individuals, for your community, your state, your nation, and beyond your borders. As you move forward, preparing to take the bar exam, beginning your legal or professional life, as you start to take on the responsibilities of professional career and the responsibilities and leadership role that you are all heading towards, be sure to adhere to the values that are important to you. Adhere to the principles of integrity, graciousness, openness, civility, and hard work. Embrace the resiliency and strength that you have earned over the past few years during your education. Welcome the questions and challenges, the adventures of your career. I know that I, for one, am looking forward to what you take on and accomplish next. It is now my pleasure to introduce our commencement speaker for this evening, Professor Robert Butkin, who will present the hooding ceremony address. Professor Butkin has had an extraordinary and diverse career, and he is concluding his tenure at the College of Law this year. He served as a visiting fellow at the University of the Philippines Law Center. He practiced law in Washington, D.C., and he worked in the energy industry in Oklahoma. But Professor Butkin's professional life is also remarkable for his commitment to public service. Professor Butkin served as an Assistant Attorney General for the state of Oklahoma, during which time he argued before the United States Supreme Court. He served as State Treasurer for the state of Oklahoma for 10 years, and he served on the Uniform Law Commission, participating in drafting and revising recommendations. Fortunately, for the University of Tulsa College of Law, Professor Butkin decided to turn his commitment to public service to a commitment to academic excellence at TU Law. Professor Butkin joined the College of Law in 2005, serving as Dean and is then one of our esteemed professors. Professor Butkin has won teaching awards, has taught a range of commercial and energy-related courses, and has served as the faculty advisor to the Energy Law Journal and advisor to the Searle Board. As his students and colleagues know, Professor Butkin holds himself to the highest ethical and professional standards and exemplifies the best in the legal profession. Please join me in welcoming Professor Butkin to the podium.
Thank you very much, Lynn. Parenthetically, this is the closest I've ever come to playing football. And I know that many of the students are nervous that I'm going to ask them to take out their statutory supplement and start reading from the Uniform Commercial Code. Yeah, I was tempted to do so, but I'll decline the opportunity this evening. Thank you, Dean Inseroth, Lynn, for your introduction. Lynn, this is also your last graduation as Dean, and on behalf of us, I want to thank you for the tremendous dedication and skill you brought to the job, your commitment to inclusiveness and diversity, and most of all, for the focus on students that you have brought to the building every day of your professional career. I can summarize some of the accomplishments that took place on your watch and that involved all of us working together as a team. The incoming class in 2021 will be the highest enrollment class of entering students in a decade without sacrificing our LSAT and GPA metrics. And I also want to give a shout out to my dear colleague and friend, April Fox, and her staff for the wonderful work they've done in making that possible. Thank you, April. On your watch, we have raised, working as a team, more than $4.7 million, including $1.7 million in much-needed scholarships to make the goal of a legal education accessible to all students. I'm pleased to note that a scholarship gift of $500,000 came in just today to support our students' dreams. And I also want to thank Beth Peters, our wonderful Director of Development, and her team for her work. And we have outstanding employment numbers for our recent graduates that are a testament to our ability to produce practice-ready attorneys in all fields. And I want to give a shout out to Dean Rachel Baker and her team in our Career Services Office for their great work. Guests, you can tell that our administrative staff and our staff are very critical to the success of the law school, and they deserve a round of applause as well as the faculty today. But Lynn, I must say, these statistics do not do real justice to your effectiveness as a leader, which is in the commitment you have made to the well-being of every individual student. This is a very hard quality for somebody like me to put in words, but as all the graduates know, there is no student who has attended our law school during Lynn's watch who is, quote, just another student to Lynn Inseroth. There are no filters, windows, or barriers that divide Lynn from the students at our law school. You have truly been a student-centered dean. It's a job that, as you, Janet Levitt, and I know, is not an easy one, but you have done it with effectiveness and skill during some very challenging times. And on a personal level, Lynn, I want to thank you. On a personal level, I want to thank you for being such a lodestar and role model of civility, kindness, grace, and decency as you have led the law school over the last 6 years. Lynn, would you be willing to stand just for one more time and let us salute you? I want to, very deserved. Lynn, I do want to point out, however, that you left out a few important things in your introduction about my background. And I thought I would share a bit about my personal background that Lynn did not include in her introduction. One important thing you should know about me is that prior to coming to the law school as dean in 2005, I had never once attended a high school prom. I had never once attended a college prom, nor had I ever attended a high school or college formal dance in my entire life. In fact, you should know that the first and only prom I've ever attended was when I attended the law school barrister's ball, which is our law school version of a prom, at the age of 57. I must say, the barrister's ball reminded me of all the reasons I never wanted to go to a prom as a teenager. I had no idea of how to act, who to talk to, or what to do. In other words, I do not regret for a single moment that I never went to a high school or college prom as a teenager. If I had to live my teenage years again, I would make the same decision. But there's another event, or another kind of event, that I never once attended when I was young. I never once attended any of my own graduation ceremonies. I did not attend my high school graduation. I did not attend my college graduation. I did not attend my law school graduation. I simply wanted to get on with my life, and it was just fine with me for the schools to mail their diplomas to me. And it seems that unlike my prom experience, I made a huge mistake when I did not attend a single one of my graduation ceremonies. I obviously denied my family and loved ones of the chance to share those milestones with me. But more seriously, and perhaps of more importance for this moment, is that by missing out on all my previous graduations, I denied myself the opportunity to reflect on what that moment meant for me and for my life. So Dean Linseroth, Lynn, thank you for giving me the chance to speak today, because although I've spoken at several, in fact, many graduation ceremonies in the past, this is an unusual graduation because I am one of the graduates. This is the first graduation ceremony in which I am graduating that I have ever attended. I am graduating from the law school as I migrate into my retirement, as the law schools migrate from the law school and graduate to begin their careers. We are all graduating just at different stages of our law school careers. This is the first of my own graduations that I've ever attended. I finally get to attend a graduation ceremony. So I get to say, fellow graduates, let me take a moment to share a few thoughts with you, and I will do so. First of all, as Lynn mentioned in her remarks, all of us on the law school faculty are aware of the tremendous challenges posed by the COVID-19 pandemic in your individual lives. My guess is that each individual one of you, at some point, felt personally and overwhelmed and isolated by the pandemic, whether dealing with the illness or even tragic death of a loved one, disruptions in your children's school schedules, the challenges of migrating to an online learning platform, and for those of you already into your careers, the disruptions you faced in the workplace. I would guess that many of you, like all of us, would have felt at times quite alone at coping with these challenges, despite all we tried to do at the law school to offer our support during this trying time. I truly hope as we begin to put this pandemic behind us, we learn to turn to our colleagues, our friends, our families, both within and outside of the legal profession, for the support that we will need at times in the coming years as we deal with the unexpected challenges that life will bring us. To use an expression more typically said of young women and men who are sent into combat, yours will be a generation of lawyers truly steeled by adversity and strengthened by the experiences and challenges you have endured. And like past generations steeled by adversity, I am confident that you will emerge from this crisis as one of our greatest generations of lawyers, and I mean that, committed to creating a more fair and just world. It is particularly important that you rise to this challenge at this moment of crisis. Never before, at least in my lifetime, have we seen such a concerted attack on the independence of the judiciary. Never before have we seen such a concerted attack on evidence-based, fact-based, and rule-based decision-making that is so critical to the survival of the rule of law. And regretfully, even today we are barraged with unwarranted and baseless attacks on the cornerstone of our democracy, the integrity of the election process. Keep in mind, as Lynn may have said using somewhat softer language, keep in mind that you have no choice but to dedicate yourself to protecting the independence of the judiciary and preserving the rule of law. As you are aware, and as I will remind all the loved ones and guests in the audience, as you are aware, as soon as you pass the bar and are sworn in as lawyers, you become an automatic public servant by the nature of your profession. You become an officer of the court, a public servant with the responsibility of preserving the integrity and independence of one of our three branches of government, and in my view, the most important branch, the judicial branch. Regardless of your own political affiliation and partisan views, never forget the importance of doing the hard work necessary to protect the integrity of our judicial and political system. Generations of American citizens to come will benefit from your work if you do so. And third, and this is a bit closer to home, please remember us, your teachers, your administrators, our wonderful staff here at the College of Law in the years to come. By remembering us, I don't mean that you need to remember the hard civil procedure exam that Chuck Adams gave you your first year of law school. You're free to forget that as far as I'm concerned. Instead, remember us if we can ever be helpful to you. It may come as a secret, but just as we have enjoyed teaching and mentoring you during your years at law school, your professors will enjoy serving as your mentors in the years to come. So please feel free always to call on us and to use us as resources as you face career and professional choices and challenges going forward. There is one final thing I would like to say, or actually better expressed, there is one final thing I would like not to say as we wind up. When I spoke at the 2007 law school graduation in my last year as dean, I made a terrible mistake that has haunted me for 14 years. Truly plagued me. Some of you may or may not remember this. As I was winding up my talk, I meant to turn to the class of 2007 and say, class of 2007, I wish you great success going forward. But for some reason, I got terribly tongue-tied. And what I actually said that day was, class of 2007, I wish you great sex going forward. And I've been haunted by that for years. By the way, I did some research this morning, and it turns out the class of 2007 has been one of the most prolific classes in the law school's history in terms of having children. So it proves that at least on occasion, students do listen to a graduation speech. But in any event, I've been haunted by that mistake for 14 years. And so I've been practicing for about 2 hours this morning. And to this class, the class of May 2021, December 2020, and May 2020, congratulations, and I wish you great success in all the years to come. Thank you.
We will now present the Student Awards. We would first like to recognize our students from the class of 2020 and class of 2021 who have served their nation in the armed forces or reserves. When I call your name, if you are here with us this evening, please stand to be recognized. Robert Clardy, United States Navy. Diana Cups, United States Army. Zachary Enlow, United States Army. Matthew Ferguson, Oklahoma Army National Guard. Kevin Glasgow, United States Army. Margaret Hartman, United States Marine Corps. Ryan Heffley, United States Army. Thank you for your service to our country. It is now my great pleasure to present the academic awards for the class of 2020 and 2021. Our first award is the Martin Fellow Smith Award, presented to a graduating student designated by the faculty as the most outstanding student in the College of Law. Scholastic average and exhibited qualities of leadership are considered for this award. This evening, we will recognize our recipients from the class of 2020 and the class of 2021. Please stand to be recognized when I call your name. The 2020 recipient of the Martin Fellow Smith Award is Tanner Fry. Congratulations, Tanner. The 2021 recipient of the Martin Fellow Smith Award is Carter Fox. Congratulations, Carter. Our next award is the W. Lee Johnson Award, presented to the graduating student with the highest cumulative grade point average. The recipient of the W. Lee Johnson Award is the class valedictorian. The 2020 recipient of the W. Lee Johnson Award is Vic Weiner. The 2021 recipient of the W. Lee Johnson Award is Jason Wiedholter. Our recipients of the W. Lee Johnson Award will now give the valedictory address. Vic Weiner will give the address for the class of 2020, followed by Jason Wiedholter for the class of 2021.
I am so grateful to be with all of you today. For many of us, this past year has been marked by sickness, loss, the challenges of studying for and taking the bar exam under absurd conditions, employment uncertainty, taxing parenting challenges, trauma, and isolation. It was a hard time to become a lawyer. My excitement at becoming a lawyer was dampened when I watched our profession's lackluster and dismissive response to a deadly global pandemic and an uprising rooted in centuries of racial violence and spurred by the deaths of George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, and far too many others. The response highlighted the callousness and the gatekeeping in the legal profession that serve to keep out or push out brilliant and valuable people. Since becoming a lawyer, I have received many emails from my state's bar exam advertising yoga, or meditation, and urging self-care. Yet I have seen no call for firms or employers to change harmful or exploitive employment practices. The message being that if we can't keep up, we don't belong, not because the profession has failed to create room for us. Similarly, We are urged to take on issues of racial justice in our work, but do little to examine the ways that white supremacy has shaped our profession from its inception. This was illustrated clearly last summer when a group of law students, primarily led by women of color, highlighted the racist history of the bar exam and the massive racial disparities in the legal field. And most bar associations and state Supreme Courts chose to do nothing. I hope our experiences of the past year motivate us to push our profession in a more compassionate and equitable direction. I hope we refuse when the onus is put on us to change, but institutions remain stagnant. I hope we use our power to create the space in this profession to amplify the voices of people harmed by our legal system and to respond quickly to change the practices that create those harms. I cannot wait to see what we do to make this profession and this world a better, safer place for everyone. In solidarity, thank you.
Congratulations to each and every one of you, and thank you for letting me come along for the ride. I feel like I was in a very unique position to get to know a lot of you in both of these classes. And I could say it's my privilege and honor to be here because I wouldn't be standing right here without you. And I'm sure you feel the same way about some of the people sitting around you. Your classmates, these professors, the friends and families sitting out here in the audience. They helped you endure and overcome law school, those incredible demands of law school. But on top of that, together, we actually overcame law school during a pandemic. And this prepared us in a unique way to serve as lawyers. But not just because we lived through the pandemic, but as Professor Butkin was saying, it's because of something the pandemic really revealed, something that I think you and I all intrinsically knew, but something that transcends the pandemic itself. Take a look around you. These people whom you care about deeply, who are here to support you, these people whom you love, during the last year, you likely became acutely aware of how important people are to your life. And it's this appreciation of people, this love, that uniquely equips you and I to serve as lawyers. Now, religious or not, I think Paul, one of Jesus' disciples, actually put it best. He said, if I speak with human eloquence and angelic ecstasy, but I don't love, I am nothing. So, as these professors become mentors, as classmates become colleagues, remember that the briefs that you're going to write, the arguments you're going to make, and the law that you're going to help create, all of it affect people. In these experiences that we've had over the last 3 years, and especially over this last year, they uniquely equip us to practice law because of this love and appreciation for people. To the audience, on behalf of these graduating classes, thank you for all of your love, your support, and for making this journey worth it. To you, the graduating classes of 2020 and 2021, my friends, thank you for letting me come along for the ride. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your friendship. I am forever grateful. Congratulations to all of us.
We will now hear the graduation remarks from the 2020 SBA President, Pierre Robertson, followed by the 2020 SBA President, J.P. Ray.
The class of 2020 will always have the unique legacy of saying we are the first class to practice law even before our graduation ceremony. So now we can embellish the story of our first year of practice to our friends, family, anyone we can convince to listen, to make our journey sound even more difficult than what it was, just like every generation has before us. But speaking of generations before us, May 2021 is a somber time. 100 years ago, Black Wall Street, a community of over 600 wealthy African American businesses, stood proudly just a few miles away from where we are gathered today. This proud, prosperous Black community was burned down by a violent mob of angry white citizens. And sadly, all that remains today are plaques engraved in the streets where these buildings once stood, memorials commemorating their presence, and an ugly stain on both the local and national historical landscape. While we have made strides to fight injustice over the years, every day we are reminded of how much more progress we need to make. Often, it seems as if justice, especially for minorities, is the exception rather than the rule, and always just out of reach. It is so disheartening to see another African American lose their life to police brutality, or more recently, someone affected by the increase in violence against the Asian American community. However, when I look around at my fellow graduates, I feel hopeful. I know that each of us will use our law degree to improve our community and fight injustice. We even did it as law students. In 2016, Oklahoma citizens voted to reduce drug possession and certain theft crimes from felonies down to misdemeanors. Through Project Commutation, we secured commutations for our clients, which are a reduction in sentences. It demonstrated that anyone can make an impact, regardless of whether you have some fancy title or a degree. All you need is a commitment to enact change. To the classes of 2020 and 2021, from what I've seen in the past 3 and 4 years, I have no doubt you have what it takes to achieve at the highest level, even in the worst conditions. Congratulations, you deserve it. And now for your 2021 SBA President, Mr. J.P. Ray.
Thank you, Pierre. Congratulations to the class of 2021. I'm honored to stand here today and tell you that we not only survived law school, we survived law school in a global pandemic. First, I want to say thank you to my family for always showing support over the years. I love you guys. And thank you to our TU Law staff, administrators, and professors. One of the best characteristics of TU Law is the overwhelming sense of community, from tenured professors to practicing attorneys. Tulsa's legal community is fully supportive of their hardworking TU Law students. Unfortunately, COVID-19 made that sense of community really difficult to continue. This year, I tasked the Student Bar Association with a simple mission: continue to advocate on behalf of our students. In response, SBA adapted. We held fun and informative virtual events such as the Student Org Fair, the Paint and Sip Night with Pino's Palette, and the Mentor-Mentee online matchup party. As the vaccine began to roll out, we were able to hold safe in-person events at the Gathering Place and at the Philbrook Museum. The newly created Conciliation Committee took on a mission to address racial inequality on our campus and in our community. And most notably, SBA advocated on behalf of our students and endorsed a grading policy that addressed the harsh realities of spending half of our law school career in an online format. I've watched so many of you achieve amazing things over the years. Some of you killed it in oral advocacy competitions. Some of you drafted incredible legal articles. And some of you introduced new babies into your families. Through all of this, I've learned the significance of perspective. Because we're surrounded by other legal professionals, we sometimes forget what we're accomplishing. As of 2019, only 13% of college graduates obtained a graduate degree. Further, on average, only 45% of law school applicants are accepted in the law school. So the fact that we're here today, graduates of a Juris Doctorate program, is amazing in and of itself. I leave you with 3 challenges as we prepare for the next steps in our legal careers. Number 1, never stop advocating for those who need it the most. As future attorneys, we have the unique opportunity to represent those who need it. Number 2, value your time. Everyone is busy, but be sure to set aside time for what is most important to you. And number 3, leave each place better than you found it. Whether it's at school, whether it's at work, whether it's with your family, leave each environment better than how you found it. If we can do these things, I know that we can achieve amazing things in our careers. Again, congratulations to all of our graduates, and thank you to all who made it possible. I will now turn it over to Dean Insroth and Dean Grundy.
We will now recognize the graduates from the class of 2020 and the class of 2021. For those graduates joining us in person tonight, please wave or stand as your name is read aloud. We will also be recognizing those graduates who may be joining us virtually as well.
We will now recognize the graduates from the classes of 2020 and 2021. We will begin with the graduates from May 2020, receiving the LLM in Energy and Natural Resources Law.
Carly Kidner.
The following students received the Juris Doctorate:
Alexis Abercrombie. Leland Ashley. Lindsay Ashley. Kayland Baker. Samuel Barles. Caleb Beecham. Maurits Ostade Van Boon, Baylor Boone, Cassandra Bosch, Lorelli Bracho, Benjamin Briggs, Marit Busing, Jared Cannon, Paul Carter, Mary Joy Chuba, Robert Cloherty, Ariana Cole, Diana Cups, Ryan Curry, Brian Deere, Nolan Deming, Eric DiGiacomo, Andrew Dittrey, Courtney Driscoll, Sarah Ernst, Casey Fagan, Chelsea Fiedler, Alexandra Fleming, Caitlin Forrest, James Fry, Joshua Gage, Blake Juro, Caitlin Getchell, Jonathan Gordon, Kelsey Harrison, Laurel Hennigan, Markayla Horning, Whitney Humphrey, Jared Jennings, Elijah Johnson, Carly Kidner, Ryan Krischer, Jacob Lancaster, Sarah Langtree, Ryan Less,
Anastasia Mahoney,
Colleen McCarty, Mitchell McElwain, Andrew Mahelich, Paige Miller, Sophia Miranda, Logan Moore, Matthew Morgan, Sarah Moy, Michael Olson, Matthew Poole, Pierre Robertson, Robert Roselle, Riley Sanford, Anna Sanger, Timothy Schaefer, Kathleen Schwartz, Casey Strong,
Hal Trentman,
Emily Turner, Vic Weiner,
Travis Williams.
Caitlin Willis. Claire Wood. Stephen Yoder. Danielle Young.
The following students receive the Master of Jurisprudence in Indian Law.
Miltona Denny. Cody Desotel. Charles Ferguson. Kelly Harry. Bruce Longhorn. Claire Matthews. Iris Sanchez. Justin Stabler.
The following students receive the Master of Jurisprudence in Energy Law.
Blake Browning.
M. Scott Hackle.
Brendan King. Caitlin Lane. Jennifer Newhouse.
We will now recognize the graduates from December 2020. Receiving the LLM in Energy and Natural Resources Law.
Debbie Firestone. Ryan Heffley. Natalie Pedroza.
The following students receive the Juris Doctorate.
Joel Oringer.
Jake Baldwin.
Brittany Boyer. Amanda Bradley. Brianna Brakefield. Lantiqua Burks. Taylor Chenoweth. Debbie Firestone. Russell Graves. Stephen Gray. Carly Greenhaw. Morgan Hale. Aaron Hall. Logan Hathcote. Shelby Heath. Ryan Heffley. Kevin Jojcik. Jacob King. Grayson Kirk. Kelsey Lawmeyer. Margaret Monkholm. Evan Merlette. Molly Myers. Natalie Pedroza. Matthew Price. Sarah Rawson. Reagan Rule. Jacob Schuster. Riley Simon. Christopher Stout. Jonathan Wade. Ambray Weston. Jason Wheatholter.
The following students receive the Master of Jurisprudence in Indian Law.
Beverly Collins Hall, William Freeman, Christopher Lilly.
The following students receive the Master of Jurisprudence in Energy Law.
David Bishop, Chalmer Bitsoy, Balahwa Ekishola, Timothy Hillis, John Iverson, Matthew Lewis, Jeffrey Morgan, Shane Quimby.
At this time, we recognize our students graduating in May and August of 2021, receiving the LLM in Energy and Natural Resources Law.
Jorge Roman Romero, Emily Scott, Robert Seaver, William Sheldon.
The following students receive the Juris Doctorate.
Michael Athey, Preston Bennett,
Jackson Boker,
Gavin Burrell, Kelly Case, Minho Choi, Julie Combs, Sarah Coughlin, Matthew Ferguson, Shelby Fields, Kayla Finnegan, Carter Fox, Hannah Frosch, Kevin Glasgow, Matthew Greco-Lucina, Michael Green, Rafael Aros, Margaret Hartman, Adam Heaven, Clark Hofling, Morgan Jones, Jay Kendrick, Luke Kittinger, Adam Lancelot, Brant Larson, Christopher Lewis, Michael Lewis, Luke Lionberger, Stephen Lopp, Zachary Manley, Sage Martin, Joshua McCann, Charles McCaskey, Quincy Metcalf, Cody Minyard, Caitlin Mortazavi, Sayed Mortazavi, Alexander Myers, Chong Jin Oh, John Ray, Brandon Richardson, Valeria Rivera, Jorge Roman Romero, Mackenzie Ryan, Emily Scott, Grayson Scott, Robert Seaver, William Sheldon, Nathan Smith, Kirsten Stapleton, Zachary Stegman, Summer Stevens, Hannah Stidman, J. Michael Swab, Luke Thompson, Ashley Vinson, Jennifer Watson, Daniel Weatherholt, Hannah Wellhoff,
Dr. Tracy Westlake,
Parker Wilkerson, Austin Witt, Sarah Wunderlich.
The following students receive the Master of Jurisprudence in Indian Law:
Tamara Brooks, Mark Gilfillan, Michelle Griffith, Renessa McLaughlin, Tamara Mora, Velma Pickett.
The following students receive the Master of Jurisprudence in Energy Law:
Sarah Davis,
Congratulations. At this time, graduates, I invite you to stand and don your academic hood. Woo! You may now move your tassel from right to left. Please be seated. Congratulations, graduates. We are so proud of you and for all of your achievements so far, and for all those yet to come. We can't wait to see how you will change the world. I'd like to now invite Chaplain Francis to lead us in a benediction. After the benediction, the faculty will recess through Gate 7. Graduates, please remain in your place until the ushers release you from your rows. We will recess the graduates from back to front. Reverend Francis.
Thank you, Dean Interoth. As you donned your hoods, that is the weight of service that you have. That is the weight of justice that you serve. That is the weight of humanity that you serve. You must do so with the greatest pursuit to be just, to be kind, to serve humanity. You are an incredible class. You make my heart hopeful. You are the hope of coming through this adversity of COVID. You are the hope for our world, our nation, wherever you serve. Go now in the peace that will guide you, the love that will sustain you, and the hope that abounds and surrounds you. May the Lord's richest blessing be upon each of you. Amen.